Good afternoon. It's June the 12th, 2015. Time to wrap it up for the day. We came in this morning on the email E-mini wanting to be short for the first trade and see if we could take out the overnight session low. And got a beautiful trade right here, right off the opening on a retest failure. Off this S trade right here. We took that trade and were immediately stopped out. Talked through a trade right here for a small winner. Talked through another trade for a small winner, then got away from it. Very, very difficult trading still. You can just see these big reversals and quick runs, and they die. They don't go anywhere. Big reversal, quick run right here. But the idea was to sell the market down 95 to 2100 and be a buyer in the 85 to 80 area, and that pretty well caught the market's activity. The trade protection bill, or whatever they call it, was defeated, more so because of Democrats and Republicans, and the Democrats know who funds their re-election. The unions and the rest of them, the unions were clearly against this. The Republicans know who fund their election, a lot of them, the Chamber of Commerce, and they were for it. So, but anyway, it went down some 300, I think 126 votes for, and it takes 220 to get it. So the White House will have to go back to the drawing board, but nothing happened. The markets did not react to it one way or the other. So taking a look at what happens next week, Monday we've got the Empire Index, Industrial Production Capacity Utilization, and Housing Market Index, and then on Wednesday we have the FOMC. And the FOMC tends to quiet the market down. So we got a pretty nice slug of news on Monday. Probably the biggest economic number, the last big economic number for the month. We've got factory orders and durable orders, but those don't have the impact that industrial production does. Taking a look at the F1 screen on the E-mini. Lower high, lower low were sellers on Monday. Looking at the F2 screen. Now, again, coming into today, it wasn't too difficult to, why do we want to be on the short side first? And listen, if you get the direction right, everything else falls into place. You can still lose money getting the direction right, but you tend not to. A B, and here we have a B. So we've got, looks like we're going to close this baby around 85. We've got volume down here in the 80 area. It is a B. I think we can go a little bit lower, so maybe 80, 82 by 1. 75, 77 by 2. On the sell side, 89, 91, sell 1. And then 94, 96, sell 2. And we'll see how that plays come Monday morning. Okay, the financials closed weaker than you would thought them to, and they actually we usually have a pause day after the market goes through an auction series, auction week, and we traded higher this morning, couldn't hold those, and then liquidation took us into the day session lows. So we got a higher low, higher high off the F1 screen. We can be buyers. We're not going to have the confirmation on the F2 screen that we'd like to have. If I do an I split right here, you see how the market's filling in volume where it needs it. It's a pretty square distribution. The issue is, where do we want to get short? So the last rotate up stopped at 11. Then above that, 13. Then the spill came from 16. So 12 to 16 is where resistance is. So selling failure to take out 12 to 16 is structurally where we'll be. So we'll put an 11 to 15 sell on it. 19 to 23. On the buy side, might be able to go a little bit lower. But this 1 to 5 still looks reasonable. That's where support is. And then 25, 29 for buy 2. We have news that could shake the market. Industrial production coming on Monday. FOMC on Wednesday. That tends to freeze the market. Also, we could have news out over the weekend on Greece. So we'll have to take a look at the news before we make up our minds what we want to do on bright and early Monday morning. But I think the FOMC meeting where they anticipate even stronger language on, and the Fed's, I forget the dot chart, where they expect to see Fed funds third quarter, fourth quarter, etc. will get more play than it normally does. Okay, looking at the 30-year, similar pattern, but definitely a little more B than the 10-year, and that's because of knob spread contraction. Last rotate up an M period stopped at 21, then 23, then 24. The selling that broke support came out of the 151 area, and we're currently at 09. So 15 to 19 is sell 1. 27 to 31 will be sell 2. On the buy side, we're at 9. 1 to 5 could be that. Let's go 29 to 01. It gets a little deeper. It always goes a little bit deeper than our number 1 points. Or they hold. And then 17 to 21 for buy 2. The tendency is after an auction for this contract to sell. Okay, gold's interesting. Stuck in a trading range with the FOMC next week and the potential news out of Greece. I don't see gold breaking down. Looking at the F1 screen, inside day that says trading range. Looking at the F2 screen, P on both TPOs and volume. Volume's on the top side, so I mean support is where it is, 75, 77, buy 1. Then it'll be 70 plus or minus for buy 2. Would like to buy on the cheap, could. I'm going to leave an 84, 86 out there, let it go a little higher, get stops above today's high, the overnight session high. But it might take an 82, 83 to get off a short. I think we can get a little higher. So support 70 to 75 and resistance 85 to 90. That's the way that I see it, okay? Looking at crude oil, lower high, lower low, it's trying to sell. So definitely have a seller 61.50 to 62.50, and we definitely have a buyer below 58. And right now we're at 59.96. So I think this one's lower. You can see right down here 59.25, 59.37. This little break right here might be a good place for our first long. Okay, definitely leaning B. Volume is moving lower in the distribution. So got a low volume number down at 59.37, which is where that break in the market is. You can see it right over here. So 59.50, 59.25, buy 1. 875, 59 even by 2. On the sell side, 60 and a quarter, 60.50. Like the short side better, but that doesn't get you a hell of a lot in crude oil. You just trade the setups, and whatever happens, happens. That's kind of refreshing because, I mean, you don't have a lot to do with it. You just put on your trades and you see what happens, and you don't expend a lot of emotional capital trading crude. You know, for somebody like me who really thinks he knows the bond or the financials backwards and forward, and then I could claim some expertise right there. There's, what? Me wrong? How could that be? And so there is some expenditure when you think you know what you're talking about when you're wrong, of emotional capital, and we try to minimize that. And last but not least, the euro. The euro, on a hint of a deal, will trade higher. Deal gets made, trade lower. No deal possible, it sells. We got a seller 113 even, 113.50, and we've got a buyer at 112, 11.75. We're kind of 12.72, so I don't think things will change. So 1300 plus or minus, sell 1. And then 1345.55, sell 2. On the buy side, 1225, buy 1. And then 1175, buy 2. And that's it for June the 12th, 2015. I hope everybody has a great weekend. And I look forward to getting after it bright and early Monday morning. With that said, I'm out of here.
Your line is now muted.